Hello, everyone, to a brand new meeting today.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
Hello, Madam
hello,
President.
Good
hello,
morning, everyone.
hello. Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening,
Good evening. This is
good
my first
evening.
session.
All right, all right. So today we have to make some noise. And what kind of noises can we make? Come on, let's make some noise. Sad. Okay, that is one. Toastmaster Hiba, you can't hear anyone?
That noise isn't allowed.
Can you hear us, Toastmaster Hiba?
Hello.
Yes, Toastmaster Hiba, can you hear us now? Hiba? Okay, so she'll be back. So, since we are all decided that we do not want to make noise, so let's take guest introductions. And since everyone is a Toastmaster here, let's ask Toastmaster Carla. Toastmaster Carla, where you're from and how did you hear about us?
Could you repeat the question, please, as Vice President? Could you repeat the question, please? I didn't hear you.
I said Toastmaster Carla, where are you from and how did you know about us?
Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am Toastmaster Carla from Guyana. I learned about your meeting from a group that I'm a part of in your club. And that's how I was able to be a part of your meeting this evening. I've been a Toastmaster for 6 months, and I've completed 4 parts in 6 months as we speak, wrapping up level 5 to complete my path. And my journey has been a remarkable one, and I'm happy to be a part of your meeting.
That's
Toastmaster
amazing.
President, over to you.
4 parts in 6 months. That's amazing. So let's head off to Saifur Rahman. Are you a Toastmaster?
Thank you. No, I am not Toastmaster. It is my
All right.
first session.
All right. Where did you hear about Toastmasters?
A Toastmaster. I'm glad to say that you are very famous.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so welcome to the club and please
Thank
stay
you.
with us. Next is guest Hasnain. Guest Hasnain, would you unmute yourself and speak to us?
I'm going to speak up.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you find Toastmasters?
Salam Saad. Saad invited me actually.
All right.
I wanted to be part of it and I contacted him and he gave me link.
All right. So you've never been part of Toastmasters and this is new to you. So welcome to the club.
Thank you.
And since there we have 2 guests, we have discovered 2 guests. So Toastmasters is an age-old institution, and here we learn about public speaking, leadership, and how to talk, and basically how to communicate with each other. And with time, we become better and experienced speakers, like most of the people in this room. So how do we do that, and how do we learn that? Today, our Toastmaster of the day will teach us. So our Toastmaster of the day is none other than our immediate past president. He has, he speaks really, very well. And he has been doing a lot of contests this year. He's been the chief judge and a lot of things that I cannot say. So over to you, Toastmaster Imran.
Thank you very much, Madam President, Toastmaster Rusa. I'm sure I'm audible. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening. It's always good to be the Toastmaster of the day, where you get a chance to interact with everyone whenever and how much you want to. Day before yesterday, Madam President sent the message. It's awfully quiet. Brain started working. Why not make some noise and break the ice? So we are here to make some noise because if you want something, then you have to make the noise. And what does we want? First of all, we want make our every meetings memorable one and to be remembered for long. Secondly, I want maximum participation of every member in every meeting. Thirdly, I hate to see the word TC with District 122. I want to see Pakistan, the district, and see our speakers competing at the international stage. For that, we need to make loud noises to realize the importance of Toastmasters. Fourth one, wants never ended. So without further delay, let's begin our meeting. Every Toastmasters have three segments. First segment is called the prepared speech segment, in which members of the club delivered prepared speeches from their selected pathways. Currently, we have 11 pathways. The purpose of this segment is for the members to learn and sharpen their presentation skills. Second segment is known to be the most amazing and fun-loving segment, the table topic segment, in which table topics master called anyone from the audience, it may be member or a guest, and he assigned a random topic. The speaker has to speak about the speaker has to speak about 2 minutes on the topic. The purpose of this segment is to encourage members to speak extempore at any situation. Last but not the least, the evaluation segment. We all are here to improve and to point out those areas. We have a great and experienced team of evaluators who will give us positive feedback on areas of improvement, and that's how we learn. In Toastmasters, we also learn how to work with the team. In every Toastmasters meeting, we have team of facilitator who are there to play different roles during the meeting. Our first role player is the word master, who will give us a new word to enrich our vocabulary. For that, let me call our word master today, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, could you please explain your role? Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters guests. Today, my role is of word master. So the word of the day is lustrous. Lustrous means shining, having luster. So I would encourage all the speakers, evaluators, the table topic speakers to use this word. My role would be to note it down as to how many times it has been spoken by the speakers. And at the end of the meeting, I will give my report as to how many times it has been spoken. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir. So everyone, word of the day is lustrous, and you have to use the word as many times as possible. Moving on to our next facilitator, we have grammarian. And for grammarian, we have Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan. Toastmaster Hiba Reis, could you please explain your role? The stage is yours.
Master Hiba just went offline.
Yeah,
Maybe we can-
actually, Hiba was experiencing some connection problems, so I advised her to log in from mobile. Oh yes, there she is.
So Toastmaster Hiba, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
So I request you to please, as a grammarian, please explain your role.
Okay, as the grammarian, I would be making note of all the incorrect incorrect grammar spoken by the speakers during the prepared speeches and the table topic sessions, and incorrect grammar and use of words, I suppose, during the prepared speeches and the table topic sessions. And I would also I would be making note of all the interesting words spoken by the speaker during these two sessions. And at the end of the session, I would be presenting my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hiba. Moving on to our next facilitator. Using filler words during speech is not a good idea. It feels bad in listening. To count our filler words, we have our R counter, and R counter is will be playing by Toastmaster Taha Hassan. Toastmaster Taha, would you please explain the rule? Toastmaster Taha, are you with us? Toastmaster Taha, are you with us? Okay, let's move to the next role holder. In the meanwhile, when he connects, we request him to explain his role. Keeping the track of timing taken by every participant, we have timer for this role. I request Toastmaster Sashweb to please explain your role. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Imran, fellow Toastmaster guests. I'll be in a I'll be keeping a track of the time for the speeches. Speeches. This means that you are next slide. Light will be meaning that you need to start to wrap up the speech and and light will mean you are about to submit.
I think Saad got disconnected. No, yes, Seth, his voice is not breaking. He has a stammer. Over to you, Toastmaster Imran.
Okay, let me explain you the timer's rules. Okay, so there will be different timing for different segments. For prepared speeches, the timer will turn on if the speech is for about from 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, the timer will turn on his screen to green. At 6 minutes, the timer will turn on the screen to yellow, and at 7 minutes, the timer will turn on its screen to red. And this means that you have only 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, you will be disqualified because there will be no signals of disqualification. So you have to wrap up your speech within that. For table topics, it goes like the speaker has to speak for about 1 minute to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At 1 minute, the timer will turn on the green signals. It means you are qualified for voting. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, the timer will turn on the yellow screen or switch to yellow screen. At 2 minutes, the timer will switch to red screen. That means the speaker has to wrap up his speech, because after 30 seconds, there will be no signals for disqualification. And when the 30 seconds crossed, the speaker will be disqualified for voting. And that goes with the evaluation as well. 2 green, 2.5 yellow, and 3 minutes red. And after 30 seconds, he will be disqualified. With that, now our counter is back, Toastmaster Taha Hassan. I request Toastmaster Taha to please explain your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, my role as the R counter is to count the number of unnecessary sounds or repetitive words used when you are speaking. For example, or the words you repeat, or the long pauses you take. Now this will be counted by me. So now these are bad fillers for your speech, and these must be avoided, as this would affect your effectiveness in delivering your speech. At the end of the meeting, I will be back again to share my report with the people present in this meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Taha, for such a wonderful explanation of your role. Moving on to our next facilitator. Are we a good listeners? To check our listening skills, we have a very special Toastmaster to play this role. So today's listener is Toastmaster Mariam Arif. Toastmaster Mariam Arif, would you please explain the role?
Hello, everyone. So as TM Imran just said, as the listener, I'm supposed to keep track that all of you are listening to your fellow Toastmasters or not. So I'll be noting down any interesting phrases or words that speakers use throughout their speeches or whenever they speak. And at the end of towards the end of the meeting, I'll be saying out loud those phrases and words. And you as the audience will have to guess who spoke, who was the speaker of that particular word or phrase. And if you are the speaker, obviously you are supposed to stay silent. But if not, please speak up so that we get an idea of how vigilant and attentive you were towards your fellow Toastmasters and guests when they were speaking. Over to DM Imran.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mariam Arif, for explaining the role. Let's rejoice our mood with a series of jokes. Why a series of jokes? Can anyone guess?
It's time for the joke master.
Hiba Rice.
Yes, our joke master is Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan, and she always come up with more than one joke. So Toastmaster Hiba, the stage is yours.
Thank you, TM Imran. This time I just managed to gather 2 jokes. The first one is, what do you call a cow with 2 legs? What do you call a cow with 2 legs?
2 legs cow.
A human being?
So, lean beef. And the second one, 2 artists had an art competition. 2 artists had an art competition. How did it end up?
Messi?
It ended up in a draw. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hiba. And thank you very much. You did not come up with one joke. Otherwise my statement would be wrong. So let's begin our first session. Today, our first session will be the table topic session. And for table topic session, I request our table topic master. His All the way from Kuwait, let's welcome Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Fellow audience, a warm good evening. Today, I welcome you all for a lustrous session of Table Topic, where I'm going to invite each one of you and will give you a topic. You have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Minimum is 1 minute to qualify for voting, and try to use as much as possible the word of the day, lustrous. So let me invite TM Noreen Fatima, at least when she will be on the stage, the guest will know, and I will follow guest names after that. So TM Fatima, Noreen Fatima, if you can please come on stage.
Yes.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I can't see you on the camera. 1957.
I'm visible now, hopefully.
Yes. So let me give you a topic to start the session.
Okay.
What gets you excited about life?
Okay.
What gets you excited about life? TM Noreen Fatima.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topic Master, for giving me such an exciting and lustrous topic. So what gets me excited about life is hope. Is hope of happiness, that the things which are not going good right now will definitely come up to a positive end, and things will become better, and there is a better tomorrow. And the things which keep me going are actually I think which keep things which gets me excited about life are one of thing is hope, and the second one is gratitude. If I feel thankful and feel gratitude, so I will feel a bit contented and happy, and feel that good things will definitely come up on my way and make me happy, and will lead me towards a better future. Over to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Noreen. You faded very fast. Just after your speak, you close off the camera. Okay, now let me invite a regular guest of ours, Mariam Aftab. Please, if you can unmute and switch on.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I know you are an exciting mother, so I'll give you a lesson. Sorry, I'll give you a topic which you can speak more louder than this. What life lesson did you learn the hard way? What life lesson you learned the hard way? Over to you.
There's one lesson that I would say that everyone should learn is to never give up. It's not the hard way. It's just a way you go through, and hardships comes to your way. You learn through that. I think never give up. Yes, I would definitely say that. There are at times when you see around, there are different things, and there are competitions, and there are difficulties that come to your way. Whether it's an interview or job applications, getting into universities, or being a mother, it is difficult. Every stage is difficult, but it brings some challenges, but also gives you a lesson with that. With times you understand what is right, what is wrong, what you did wrong, and how you can make it right. Next time you won't repeat it. I won't say one instance or sharing one incident or one thing that makes me feel that this was hard. No, I think every phase, every stage is difficult. By the time you realize it, it was not. Maybe not that one. This one is more difficult or you can make it better in the other ways. But I think The hardships are the one that makes you a better person, makes your life easy later on. So I guess I'll end up with this. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guest Mariam. Yes, life long is hard, but to make it better is to never give up. Thank you for this lovely message. Now let me invite President Urusa, please. 1 to 2 minutes.
Yes, Toastmaster.
President, your topic is, what can you do today that you were not capable of a year ago? I'll repeat. What can you do today that you were not capable of a year ago? Over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what can I do today that I was not capable of a year before? I think uh, I think I can face a lot more people uh, in a public setting, and I wasn't capable of that a year before, or even a lot of years ago. Maybe 5, 10 years ago, I wasn't capable of doing that. And it's not just an online setting or even just going out. I'd say it'd be a public auditorium filled with people, and I'd be able to go up on stage without feeling nervous or weak, or even just going blank, because that was what would happen normally, just going blank, forgetting what was there or what I had to say. And that had developed over time, and that was had become the norm. So yes, that is something that has happened now, and I'm happy that through this forum and through meeting people who became family, who became people like me, and now I have come to this point. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, President. Isn't it interesting? Each and every table topic I am giving, that speaker is really making some noise. It's really making our heart beat, making us realize what the reality of life is. So let's hear this tune again and again. And let me invite Toastmaster Andrea. Toastmaster Andrea Carlo, please, if you can. Unmute yourself and
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. Could you repeat, please?
yes. May I request you to switch on the camera if possible, or?
At this point in time, I can't. My background is very noisy and I'm teaching at the moment. So I can't turn my
worries.
camera on.
Are you ready for the table topic for 1 to 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So this is Toastmaster Latif, and your topic is, which is worse, failing or never trying? I'll repeat. Which is worse, failing or never trying? Toastmaster Andrea, over to you.
Doesn't guess to the topic master, which is worse, feelings. We never know the amount of fortitude we have within ourselves. Anytime as we refuse to get back up and try again. We never try our first icebreaker. How would we know where we would have improved in terms of our speaking ability? How would we know that we would have done successfully if we try to go to school or to learn a concept or to learn something new? How would we know that we would not be successful? Failure is inevitable. To not try to do something will be detrimental to our health. It is better for us to take a chance at trying something new learning a new pathway, learning to do a new presentation, change the way how you speak, how you stand to your presentation, incorporate different gestures as the evaluator would have made mention to you. In closing, if you're thinking about a project that you would like to start and you would have failed before, I would encourage you to start over again, because we never know the great, we never know the end of the road, where the end of the road will take us. Stable topic master, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Andrea. Though the voice was little breaking, but I got the message that we should keep trying. Now, may I invite guest Hasnain, please. Hasnain Gujar.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Hasnain. I'll give you a topic. You have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And
Okay.
the word of the day is lustrous. So your topic will be, what do you want most? I'll repeat. What do you want most? Over to you.
Okay, got it. Well, the thing which I want most in my life is to become an army officer. And I have been failing since 3 years. I have not got it yet. But the thing is that the topic before you gave to the woman, I don't remember the name, that failing is worst or never trying. So actually I'm failing, but the good thing is that I'm trying, and I'm hopeful that inshallah I will do it. And the reason I joined here is to improve my speaking skills, as I have to deliver a lecture there and speaking skills are observed closely. And I will say that I'm weak at it, so I want to improve. And thanks to Saad that he told me that there's a platform that you can join and you can better your speaking skills, improve your speaking skills. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, my friend. And I wish you all the success for the future to serve our country, to serve and enjoy your dream.
Inshallah.
Now let me invite Toastmaster Mariam Arif, our champion. Toastmaster Mariam Arif, your topic is, what does your joy look like today? What does your joy look like today?
Hello, everyone. So joy, when it comes to defining joy, it definitely varies from person to person. For some, it might be a lot of wealth. For some, it might be a lot of fame. But for me, joy is something that is very simple. And that is having people who value me and having people who are loyal to me, who have nothing but good intentions for me. To be surrounded with them is what joy means to me. And that might be my friends, good friends who genuinely want me to do the best. That can be my parents who always want to see me flying high. That could be my sibling, that could be my relatives, but that is what joy is for me. To be surrounded with people who I can love and I can express my love for, who would be there for me in all stages of my life, and I would be there for them too. So for me, Joy isn't just about having the most amount of wealth or having just success or fame. For me, joy is relationships that I can cherish every day. Joy is that relationship that gives me a reason to wake up with a bright smile every day in the morning and aspire for something better, because these are the people who are giving me positivity and the energy and the enthusiasm that I need in my life. So this, for me, is joy. Over to the table topic master.
Certainly. Thank you, Toastmaster Mariam. Certainly, yes. People to stay with who be your loved ones and you love each other. That's amazing. Now let me invite guest Saifur Rahman, please, if you can.
Thank you. Yes, I am here.
Great. So you understand, right? How does this work?
Yes.
Great. So I'll give you this topic. I'll repeat twice. Where do you find inspiration? Where do you find inspiration? Over to you.
Thank you. Am I audible clearly? That's a very
You are
illustrious
audible.
question. I find inspiration in the philosophy of Nietzsche, a German philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche. Maybe you know him. He gave an idea of Übermensch, overcoming yourself and becoming what you are, having knowing what you are, and you need to develop yourself, and you need to overcome your weaknesses. And the idea is very much aligned with the philosophy of Mard Momin, given by Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Actually, Nietzsche was the source of that philosophy, and when you read him, you know that he's giving you a meaning of your life in a meaningless world. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Saif. Now may I invite guest Humna, Humna.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, guest Humna, if you can switch on your camera.
Okay.
Okay. You are aware of the, how does it work, right? You have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, I will try my best.
Yes. Your topic is, what has life taught you recently? What has life taught you recently? Over to you.
Life is such a peaceful thing for overall us, and we have to work for it to make ourselves happy, to achieve our goals and dreams, how to overcome the problems, and life is not such a piece of cake. So we have to be work, struggle, and do something for achieve some goals and do something like what we really want to do in our life, and to make ourselves happy, self-satisfaction to what are we doing, and I think that's it.
Thank you, guest Hamna. You said it very well. In few words, you made sure that we all understand the message that life is struggle, but we have to give our best.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
So let me conclude this session by thanking each and every speaker and apologize for not inviting more of the on the table. May I invite timer TM Saad, please, if you can share us the qualification or disqualifying or qualifying.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. All the speakers are qualified, and please vote in 3, 2, 1. Please vote.
Great. Thank you, Toastmaster Saad. Now let me hand over this virtual stage back to energetic Toastmaster of the day, TM Imran Rana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Latif, for conducting such an amazing table topic session. Okay, today we are blessed with so many guests, and I would request guest Hamna to please, could we have your brief introduction? How did you find Karachi Toastmasters Club?
Okay. My name is Hamna, and I have done my MBA from Princeton University, and now I'm doing job in HBL Bank. And my age is 28, and I have to learn more. So that's why I'm here to learn things and how to speak, how to handle the situations, and so many things I want to learn. So that's why I want to join this meeting.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. You have come to the right place. When you become the
Okay.
member, inshallah, then you will have your prepared speeches, and then we will see you as a prepared speaker. And you will have observed our prepared speeches, so please connect with us, because
Okay.
after prepared speeches, we will have evaluation segment, and you will find your strong areas and areas where you can improve upon. So stay with us.
Okay, I will.
Thank you very much. So Toastmaster Saad, I hope the voting has been done. Okay, so
Yep, it's done.
we are now moving towards the second segment that is called the prepared speech segment. And I've already told you that in prepared speeches, all the members of the club delivered their projects from their selected pathways. Currently, we have 11 pathways. So without further delay, let me call our first prepared speaker. He is the tech host of today's meeting and also playing the timer's role. Toastmaster Sashweb will be our first speaker, and I request his evaluator, Madam President Toastmaster Urusa Kawal, to please explain the objectives and introduce the speaker. Am I there? Am I lost my connection?
You have lost it.
No, not really. Not really, you're available.
Toastmaster Urusa, are you with us?
Yes, I'm. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
So I
All
request
right.
you to please explain the objectives.
Okay. Toastmaster Saad will be delivering his project, The Power of Humor in an Impromptu Speech. The speech length is, Toastmaster Saad, would you be delivering two speeches? All right. So he will be delivering two speeches which will be 2 to 3 minutes in length. The purpose of his project is to develop a method for giving impromptu speeches and practice adapting rehearsed stories in a presentation. Mm, I think that is it. Over to you, Toastmaster Saad.
Okay, so I'll be asking the topics from Toastmaster Sashweb. So he will have to deliver an extempore speech on that. So the table topic session has not yet ended, let me tell you.
Is it 2 to 3 minutes?
Yes.
And timer, we have Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. So 2 to 3 minutes, so adjust the timing accordingly. Toastmaster Saad, are you ready? Give me thumbs up.
I'm ready.
Okay, the topic will be repeated once, not twice.
Okay.
The speaker of an important event is late. You are invited to open the event and fill a few minutes until the speaker arrives. Over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests, there's some issue here. There was too much traffic on the road since we are living in Karachi. So the roads were totally blocked. The speaker is just on its way. While he's on his way, let's just do some activities. So who likes to be active, fit, smart? Any answers? Anyone?
Me.
Yes. So let's just all stand up and let's just do some exercises like this and that and this until the speaker the speaker comes. Let's just do that because believe me, the speaker has an excellent show for each and every one of you. So you don't want to miss it. It's the show of a lifetime. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Saad. Get ready for the second topic. You are invited to share your thoughts about the completion of an important group project or event. Over to you.
Sir, we just worked extremely hard, and finally we have this product. Okay, what was the process? Sir, you won't understand that the whole process was too much, that it was 1 a.m. in the morning. The project was okay, but then boom, the IC went out of the window. The IC was not okay, and then the fan is stopped to work, and then the things that we were on our project. So with all that, how how is this okay? Okay then. So it's uh, it's Karachi. We just went out to the shops and we just bought a new project made already. Okay. And so what was the effort in that? Sir, the effort was our hard and money that we so the that was the effort, and now this is the output. Okay, and the output is no marks failed. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sashre. So that was our speaker number 1, and now we are moving towards our second speaker. Our second speaker of today's meeting is Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. He will be evaluated by none other than talented Toastmaster Mariam Arif. So I request Toastmaster Mariam Arif to please read out the objectives and introduce the speaker. Toastmaster Mariam Arif, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran. So the speaker is Toastmaster Latif. His speech title is I Shall Stand Behind You, speech length 5 to 7 minutes. And the sole purpose of this project is to enable the member to practice the skills that are needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. So as the evaluator, what I'm supposed to look for is his ability to present the unusual topic in a way that keeps the audience engaged. So best of luck, Toastmaster Latif, and over to you.
I wish I had learned this earlier. As we all are busy designing our future, and when we move ahead, meeting new competitors and new challenges, we intend to forget those people who, no matter whatever the consequences are, no matter how tough your challenges were, they have always said, I will stand beside you. And then when you have those kind of people around you, it gives you the surety, the imagination, and that encouragement of achieving and taking that one big step. What is that you wish you had learned earlier? Toastmaster of the day, fellow audience. Meow. Meh. Meh. This was me as a kid, disturbing all the class and try to be good for nothing. I was the naughtiest kid in the class. And the only day when teacher used to take revenge was the exam days. Never than that, even after my school, when I turned to my work, I was just going there for gossip and lunch. This did not end it here. When I moved on to Saudi Arabia and then Middle East all over this 26 years, I had no vision, no path, and even I did not learn from my well-wishers. During this time, I was clueless of what is future. Then I joined Toastmasters. When I joined Toastmasters, it was the same attitude, Come on, not more. Pathways, projects, levels. No, 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 no. This is not for me. I have lived my life as on one rule. Do nothing, dream big. But then came COVID mama. And why I call mama? Because we learn a lot of things from your mother. This COVID had turned me a travel agent, airports closed, ground, no work. This was the situation. And even Toastmasters turned online. This was the blessing when I got and gathered to the family of large fan audience. But what went wrong was I have yet to understand. They were giving a message that you have to build your future. Realize your own potential. This was going like a yo-yo game with me, and I was unable to understand what is there in my worth. After that, when I started delivering some projects, I had to go back and realize my 47 years. And when I look back, I found out that even though teachers who showed me the path, I choose not to walk. My friends showed me how to live the life the most, but I choose to close my eyes. My well-wishers, my uncles taught me to learn the trade of the tricks. And what I did, I refused to master them. This is when I understand that I have lost so many years. But still, there was something missing. And that missing figure out that very moment when I was driving back home one day and a car crashed me from my back. My car went towards the divider on the left and rolled upside down over the roof. And it slid just like that for another 20 meters. For that 20 meters, I felt I have died. I was breathless. I was not even single breathing for a moment. But then, as the car stopped, you remember, if you are in a theater and the movie gets end, when the climax are over, the light switch on. Similarly, I got my breath back. I was breathing. Then all of a sudden, I found people coming on to rescue me. As they rescue me, they put me out of my car. And I looked at me, I was unscathed. As and when I turned, the car roof and the engine was crashed like a tin can. That very moment, I realized how good, how blessed I am to have such people around me who have always stand beside me, no matter what. My friends, Toastmasters, they are the angels who have come in my life and supported me, no matter how big or small my success was. Friends, you don't have to experience the near death to realize life. Make sure you love and gather the people around you and each other go further. I wish I had learned this earlier. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali, for such a wonderful speech. Now it's time to move on towards the next speaker, and our next speaker is none other than Toastmaster Naveed Aslam. And he will be going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir. So I request Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir to introduce the objectives and also introduce the speaker. The stage is yours.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today Toastmaster Naveed Aslam will be giving his project from the Pathway Presentation Mastery, Level 4. So his project is Managing Question and Answers. The purpose of this project is the member to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer session. The member is also responsible for managing time, so there is adequate opportunity for questions and answer at the end. The speech length is 15 to 20 minutes timer, please note. Wish you good luck with this project. Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, the stage is yours.
Mic is off.
Unmute yourself, Toastmaster.
You're on mute.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I unmuted. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir, for introducing me. Today I'm going to deliver my speech on smartphone, the silent intruder. I'll take question and answer questions at the end of this speech. So please hold down and write the questions that you might have. So I'll try to answer the questions at the end of the speech. Most of us remember when mobile phones actually came to Pakistan. How expensive the call rates were. I could not even think of owning a mobile phone till 2004. I was only after that I had my own small Nokia, but that was more of owning a phone, but not used for calls because of the
Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, you were breaking up.
HTC, and I could get problems. The battery life was short, and it
Toastmaster Naveed, are you with us? Yes, we have lost Toastmaster Naveed Aslam. So let's wait for Toastmaster Naveed Aslam. In the meantime, could we have some more jokes, and anyone can deliver, or so Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir, do you have any jokes?
That life itself has become a joke these days. Working very late hours, launching a product. So no more jokes in the book right now.
Thank you very much for a wonderful joke. We have Toastmaster Naveed Aslam back. Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, are you with us? Toastmaster Naveed, please unmute yourself.
yes, I have unmuted. My apologies.
Okay, you are perfectly audible and visible. So I request you to please start from the beginning, because initially From the beginning, your voice was breaking, so we couldn't understand a single thing. So please start from the beginning.
Right.
The stage is yours.
Right. So I'll start from the beginning. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kader, for introducing me. What I'll do, I'll take question and answers at the end of my speech. And my speech today is, it's an informative speech on the usage of smartphone and how we Pakistanis are utilizing it. So most of us must be aware of the time when mobile phones came to Pakistan. The calls were expensive. Not everyone owns the phone. I remember that my first phone was in 2004. And even at that time, when I owned that phone, it was more of the fact that I have a mobile phone, but I seldom use it for calling because of the high call rates. Fast forward into 2010, one of my colleagues forced me to buy a small HTC Android phone. And to be honest, I did not like that. I was not liking it. The added worries were that it has a shorter battery life. And on top of it, it does the same thing that my old Nokia does. But fellow Toastmasters, then comes the internet. So internet-enabled phones, or what we call smartphones, are having a profound impact on ourselves as individuals and on the overall societies. They enable the convergence of communication and computing. And the best part of smartphones are that they leverage the functions of almost every function and service across a combination makes them the gadget of choice. And that's the single most reason that they are impacting across every function, every industry. According to the Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, as of January 20th, 2021, Pakistanis, 178 million Pakistanis have a cellular connection. This comes to somewhere around 83% of the Pakistanis who owns or have a mobile phone or have an internet connection. This is pretty good when we compare to the regional standards. On top of it, 93 million of Pakistanis have 3G or 4G enabled on their mobile phones. Let's take a look how this convergence of communication and computing, internet enablement on the device, is impacting the life of common citizens, how we as Pakistanis are utilizing it, how it is changing the way our social behaviors. So let's look at banking and finance first. As per SPB's payment system review for 2019 and 2020, there are 27 banks in the country who offer the mobile banking application. Back in 2019, it used to have collectively 4.1 million users, which jumped to around 8.5 million users Let's see the transactions. In June 2019, collectively, 41.1 million transactions were performed through mobile phones. And the volume that was processed was around 866 billion. Fast forward into June 2020, because of the certain reasons, the number of transactions increased to 84 million, and the volume of transactions is increased to 1.763 trillion PKR. And why these? Most of the purpose that these transactions were done were intra or interbank transfers, bill payments. So those were the utilities. But it offers ease of use anywhere, anytime, whenever you want on your fingertips. Out of the 50 million total accounts, 50 million plus total accounts that Pakistan have, one might say that this 8.5 million is not much. But I think the focus should be on the speed that these people are actually embracing this technology over a period of last 1.5 years. This has changed the way people look at banking and start doing the transactions by sitting home rather than standing in queues to pay the bills. New features are being added. These numbers are till June 2020, and after that, there's been a lot of features being added: government payments, central depository payments, school fees, and I was looking at the June 30th number. These numbers are increased to around 9 million users on mobile banking. How it impacts the economy, how it impacts the overall well-being is a different subject, but let me touch base on one item. One of the profound reasons why this is being pushed is that it helps poor of the poor. We can get financial inclusion through what we call M-wallet, or in layman's language, jazz can be achieved. So that's one. Number two, I would like to talk is shopping. Online shopping is a global phenomenon, and Pakistan is not out of it. Unfortunately, there is no reliable data of online shopping available in Pakistan. But I managed to find out a research by a firm called Picodi. Picodi has done a research back in 2019 on the basis of end 2018 data. And fellow Toastmasters, whatever shopping Pakistanis has done online, 56% of the shopping was done through mobile phones. And the usual suspects were younger generation, 25 to 35 years of age. And I was quite surprised to see the average ticket size. The average ticket size was 9,000 plus. And the favorite items were clothing, food deliveries, electronics, footwear. The third item, which I want to emphasize and brought to the attention as to how Pakistanis are utilizing mobile phones, is mobility. Who has imagined prior to 2012 that on your fingertips, you can request a cab, you can deliver goods, you can ask delivery of goods, safe, sound, cheap. 4 a.m. you wake up, you have a flight, no need to worry, just pick the phone and order the cab. At the time when Kareem was taken over by Uber, you know how many users they have? They have somewhere around 9 to 10 million users. What it is showing us, this underrated gadget, which we now take for granted, when enabled with internet, has started changing their lives, has started changing social behaviors. There is another debate on the negative aspects of it. So I'm not currently discussing that area. But what I want to emphasize is how Pakistanis are utilizing the mobile phones. So smartphone has a sizable impact on society and other aspects. There is no doubt that smartphones are actually creating shockwaves across every industry, impacting negatively or positively. The way how they are impacting you depends on you. There are millions of apps, free apps available to you for use, and sky is the limit. And that's how we Pakistanis might go digital, might change the course of our economy, our life. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster, and I'm open to questions.
TM Naveed, I had to ask, like you delivered a very good speech. What were your sources for, writing your speech? You obviously must have consulted a few websites, books here and there to write down your speech. So may I know the sources that you used for your speech?
Sure. So my sources, So my sources to get the data on the teledensity in Pakistan is Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, which is PTA. On the banking and finance, I've consulted these different publications of State Bank of Pakistan. And when it comes to shopping, there's a site which is called Picodi, Picodi. So there are varied sources, but these are the most reliable sources that I have consulted.
Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, I have a question. Where do you see the future of the branches of the banks? Do you foresee a shutdown of branches massively into next 3 to 4 years? And more people will be relying onto the mobile app, or the branches will still stay and serve the customers, especially in Pakistan?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and I would answer this question very cautiously. Specifically to Pakistan, brick and mortar is not going to go away anytime soon. There is an exposure draft by the central bank on digital banks. So banks can own digital bank without having any branch and can service the full suite of products. But yes, this product or this capability can tremendously reduce the footfall of the customer on branches. And the time probably will come that the jaw of cost and revenue might not be sustainable for brick and mortar banks when the industry will move digital. And that's where rest of the world is going. That's where Pakistanis eventually have to go. 20 years from now, 25 years from now, when digital banks will be a reality. But yes, cautiously, that's the way forward.
Okay, Toastmaster Naveed Aslan, you have told us so many advantages. What are the security threats to this digital banking? And what will be what we can say, how can we prevent this?
Again, a very close topic to my heart. Except for one case in banking, there is not a single case in Pakistan where the bank data is compromised. Specifically on your question, what are the risks? Yes, there are risks. But banking industry has to educate people on securing their credentials, on not to answer these scam calls wherein customers or the layman disclose their confidential information to the people who are scammers, and they utilize that information, go into the systems and take out the money or do all these sort of frauds. As far as the banking systems are concerned, or for that purpose, any system is concerned, there are a lot of developments from an information security perspective, which includes two-factor authentication, which includes a lot of technical things about putting half password in one file, half password in another file. If you have phone with you and you are not sharing your credentials with anyone, as of now, there is no way that someone take out your funds without all that information, unless the information is compromised. If the information of your password is compromised from your WhatsApp where you have noted it down, or in Drive where you have mentioned it along with your PIN code, then yes. So we are so much exposed to the information with Google Map, with Drive, and with all the applications which can have access to very specific data, which very specific our proprietary data. So we need to really understand the threats and make sure that we do not put our proprietary data in the mobile phones. Because of the ease, we put everything in it. So my answer to the question is that yes, this is a thought in people's mind. Data confidentiality is a big question mark, but as of now, none of the bank in Pakistan has that incident except for one. And post that, there has been so much done. I can give you examples of something that happens in UK or some other countries where actually the bank data was compromised. But we are fortunate as of now, till now, bank's data was not compromised, except for one.
Okay, Toastmaster Naveed, I have a question that
Sure, can you please unmute yourself?
unmute. Okay, now can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay. So I have a question. I want really you to understand that after 20 years, you said Pakistan would also move to the digital banking world. But what about the small and medium-sized industry that really are dealing with the cash transactions till now? Means they are dealing with crores of rupees and they are not making the channel of the bank. And that is called in Pakistan the black money, which are not being channeled in the bank. So that all the money is present with them. So if they transform to the digital banking, what will happen to them? What will happen to that money which is not being taxed? To avoid the tax, they don't deal in this banking channel. So how can this possibly happen that majority of the Pakistan is dealing with the small and medium-sized industry? So any impact on that or any precautions taken to care those people? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If I understand your question correctly, so you want to understand what will happen to SME which are not documented and they have that they are cash rich. So it's not directly related with the topic that I have delivered, but I just give you my thought. It might not be right thoughts or might not answer the question. These are two separate things. So when there is an institutional shift or when there is a strategic shift, so why currently we are cash based is because of the infrastructure and because of the weaknesses in different touch points of economy. If every one of them will move digital, and if central bank, which is working rigorously on the RAST program, if you just sell your car, you say, okay, I sell you my car, and you ask his number, and it is like delivery versus payment. The moment you click the button, his account will be debited and yours will be credited. You can give the key, you can check on your mobile phone that you received the fund. No need pay order, no need to call the bank that if the pay order is genuine or no. When you reach to that level, what do you think those SMEs will do? What do you think these number of people who are, though it is not related to the topic, but since this is something that I often had chats, right, left, center, forward, but telling you when there is this from the system, then people will, these sort of people will be marginalized. They have to, they didn't have any choice. Right now, they have a lot of choices. Not to pay tax, be cash rich, not to get themselves registered on sales tax, not to get registered themselves on income tax, because there is a silo approach to give them incentivizing them to please come on to these, everyone will be there. But pragmatically, it won't be that easy. Probably with this digitization, there has to be digitization in other sectors of the economy, in other regulators, FBR, central bank, excise. Digitize, only then these things will bring into the text net. And the question that you have asked probably will, those things will cease to exist at that point in time. Not cease to exist. For Pakistan, our problems are huge. So probably this will reduce, but not eliminate, considering our history and considering how much resistant we are to the change.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, for such an amazing and informative speech. I'm sure those who have any would like to ask more questions. And for that, I request Toastmaster Naveed Aslam to share his email address in the chat box. And those who want to ask more, please write him directly on his email address and he will answer you. With that, we are now moving towards our next prepared speaker. He is Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar Khan. Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar, are you with us? Toastmaster Azhar. Yes. And his evaluator is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamis. So I request Toastmaster Talha, please read out the objectives and introduce the speaker. Over to you.
Thank you so. Thank you so much. I'm audible, I believe. I'm audible. Okay. So Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar Khan will be delivering his second project from level 2 of his pathway, which is our favorite, understanding your communication style. Those who have done more than one pathway love this project because they have to do it again and again and again. I envy Toastmaster Mohammed Azhar Khan because he's doing it only for the first time, and that's why he'll be able to enjoy it and deliver it to the fullest. So the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. So it's very simple. Toastmaster Mohammed Azhar Khan has taken a survey on the Toastmasters website, and out of the 3 or 4 possible communication style, he has identified his own personal communication style. He will be shedding light on those communication styles and also uh, telling us something about the applicability of these communication styles in his real life experience. So over to you, Toastmaster Mohammed Azhar Khan.
Yes, sir. My time is start.
Yes.
I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Absolutely.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My warm welcome to each and everyone, my all Toastmasters. At last, the beautiful day has come live, and I'm sure you all, my Toastmasters, have been eagerly waiting for my speech. It's my thinking. Okay. After actually, you can give your opinion. Okay. Last week, Alhamdulillah, my first level has been completed. Alhamdulillah. Now I have started my second level. In this project, I learned very different and new things, how to identify my different communication styles, understand to my preferred communication styles, and recognize. Basically, in this uh, in this topic, I experienced my communication styles, impact interaction with others. These are first time I know that, but this is very new thing for me in my entire life. I gauge myself. I think I never check like that because I didn't have any tools like that where I'm standing in my speeches. So after portal test, I got my communication style. It prefers me. I'm very direct and very support. First and direct, and second initiative and supportive person. So I prefer to my direct communication. Maybe I'm very passionate and result-oriented person, focused and competitive to uh, and I always take a quick decision, but with opinion with my team. Without my team opinion, I never go to directly. First, I take opinion. After that, I realize. But no, I don't delay to uh, any decision. But within 1 day and 2 days, I'll take decision. I always prefer to busy in my life in my any activity, especially my business. I always my prefer to my creativity, idea generation, and then my have my social and family life. I prefer to I will be free. So if I feel, so I go to my family and social life. I spend time with others because I don't like to you are free and you are sleeping. Basically, I don't like too much sleep. I don't waste my time in my bed. Okay, this is my lifestyle. I like efficient and structured environment and get up early in the morning and go to the office and I always since my childhood I I'm looking my life this kind of. I get up early morning, go to school, after the college and university, and in my professional life, I'm spending same thing. But my field is very unique and difficult. So it's day by day, I face the challenge to new thing because yeah, I'm working in the communication advertising marketing industry. So always prefer to any challenge because I understand to my client brief. So every day I have to face any creative challenge. So on a daily basis, I have to produce my my ideas and execute and then present to my client. So basically, I'm working with my communication industry. Sorry. I prefer to I work in a communication industry, so this is good for me and for my professional career. Now I know that where I'm spending in my communication style. I always prefer to initiative, take initiative, and I communicate too easily with fluently with others. And I'm a little bit fun-loving person. Some I really joke with my clients, friends, and others. But in front of camera, I feel sometimes nervous. That's why I never joke. I can't speak easily. But in my gathering, I'm very fun-loving and person. Okay, so okay, what I'm saying, I'm very fun-loving person. I think I said I've described my communication style, and this is my today my topic, and now let's complete.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar, for your wonderful speech about communication style. Now, moving on to our last speaker. He is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. And I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali, to introduce the speaker and and also introduce the objectives of the speech. Toastmaster Latif, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Though he's the last speaker on the podium, but he's never last or leave a little bit of opportunity to trade his mark that what kind of speaker he is. So I am fortunate to evaluate DTM Talha bin Hamid, though I've always been asking to evaluate my speeches. So fortunate me. DTM Talha will be giving his project from Motivational Strategies Level 4 elective. This is a question and answer session. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer session. The member is responsible for managing time, so there is adequate opportunity for both. So what will happen? DTM Talha will give speech and then he will ask us question and answer. Just for the audience information, this speech topic will be more of informal and a well-researched speech. DTM Talha, thank you for delighting us, and please, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Latif. Just let me request everyone that just like Toastmasters Naveed Aslam's project, this is also a Q&A based project, and the total duration is 10 to 15 minutes.
15,
all of you, sorry. So all of you are requested to note down your questions, and you can ask your questions when the session for question and answers is now announced. Okay. So
DTM Talha, it is 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. It's 15 to 20 minutes, but there's no limit that how long should the speech be and how long should the Q&A be. So tentatively, my speech will be 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm hoping that you will have enough questions to fulfill the duration of the project. If you won't, it won't be my fault, certainly. Okay, so fellow Toastmasters and guests, today let me take you through a journey inside yourself. So we are all made of cells. Cells are made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. Atoms are made of subatomic particles. And there's a whole lot of thousands, literally thousands of particles that we now know that exist at subatomic level. Not only particles, but energies, forces, and fields that we don't know really the nature of. Now, if we zoom out and if you look at our bodies and then look at our planet, look at our solar system, look at our galaxy and the local group of galaxy, and that local group is part of another supercluster of galaxies. And when you zoom out enough, you realize that we cannot see what the universe really looks like. We can only assume and infer that it looks like a very thin spider web that's spread evenly around everywhere. The reason I say this is that when you look up at the night sky, what do you see? You see stars, you see some planets, and in every direction that you look, most of it looks exactly the same, doesn't it? The stars look similar to each other. There are no orange stars, there are no blue stars. Most stars have the same spectrum of light, and the sky has roughly the same density of stars everywhere. The reason I say this is because our universe is largely uniform. It looks pretty much the same in every direction. The laws of physics, the laws of chemistry all apply equally well to everyone and everything. Now, let me show you a picture. And I would love to see. Now, can anyone tell me this is Earth, okay? And this is Mercury, this is Venus, this is Mars, this is Jupiter, this is Saturn, this is Neptune, this is Uranus, and this is the moon. And this picture obviously is not based on reality. It's just to show you the scale of various planets. How many of you knew that you could fit all the planets in the solar system in the distance between Earth and moon? I bet very few of you knew that. So our moon is 1/4 the size of Earth, and our moon is so far from Earth that you could fit all these huge planets in the distance in between. The funny thing is, such a situation is not found anywhere else in the solar system. Other planets, satellites, for example, Mars, Jupiter has 21 satellites, Saturn has, I don't know, 18. They're very close to their home planets and they're very tiny by comparison. Earth's moon is 27% the size of its home planet, and it's so far away that it might well be another planet. It is so far away. Have you ever wondered, why is that? Why is the size of the moon and why is its distance from its home planet so abnormal compared to everything else in the solar system? Moving on. What is this? Can anyone tell me what is this?
Black hole?
Solar
eclipse. NI.
Eclipse?
I heard a solar, yeah, it's a solar eclipse. Yeah, it's a solar eclipse. Okay. Have you ever wondered what is the factor behind the shadow of the moon fitting so neatly onto the sun? Have you ever wondered how come the fit is so perfect? How come we do have a complete solar eclipse? Because the moon is a tiny satellite and sun is our main star of the solar system. But you know what? I bet you didn't know this. Both appear to be the exact same size to us. So the sun is 400 times larger than the moon, but it's also 400 times farther away than the moon. And that is why, due to the delicate balance of these two equations, we can have a perfect solar eclipse because the shadow of the moon fits the sun perfectly. So don't you think there's something funny about that? I mean, the moon being 400 times smaller than the sun, but also 400 times closer to us than the sun. How come the ratio is so perfect? Exhibit 3. Now, these are the planets of the solar system, right? Okay. I hope everybody of you can identify Earth, right? Have you ever wondered, when you rotate all the other planets, no matter which angle you're looking at them from, they all pretty much look the same. Have you ever wondered that? Mars is a red planet that is throughout red. Saturn is a gas giant that has gaseous atmosphere and is full of huge hurricanes of gas. And same goes for Jupiter. Mercury and Venus are two solid planets with really no standout features. You can rotate them, you can spin them, you can see them from any angle, and they look the same. But Earth, even if you move a few hundred miles, Earth looks different. Isn't that so? We have all seen the globe, right? We've all seen the continents, we have all seen the oceans, we've all seen the North Pole, the South Pole, everywhere you look. First of all, look at the color. Only Earth has green and blue and white. All the other planets are pretty much uniform in terms of their color. But Earth has a whole spectrum of colors. Which brings me to my real point. For life, and everybody knows that NASA and other agencies have been searching for life on other planets for decades now, right? They are employing various tools. They are observing far stars. They are observing planets in other galaxies. They are analyzing their spectrums. But so far, these elements, water, oxygen, gravity, temperature, sunlight, and chemicals, why are all these important? Water is obviously necessary for our survival. It's necessary for any kind of life. Did you know that there is no water produced on Earth? All the water on Earth came from other planets and stars. Not a single drop of water is produced on Earth. Have you ever wondered why only Earth has oceans? Why are there not frozen wastes on Mars? And why is there not boiling steam on Venus or Mercury? Then we have oxygen, and we all know that oxygen is one of the building blocks of life. Gravity. Gravity allows us to grow, allows us to move, allows us to run. Gravity also keeps us on the ground. Gravity allows us to build houses, to plant crops. Gravity allows us to do pretty much everything that we do in life. Temperature. As we speak of global warming, we know that even if the Earth's temperature rises 1 or 2 degrees, which it will rise by 2050, most of the habitable areas of Earth will be underwater and we won't be able to live there. So there's a very narrow range of temperature that humans and other animals can survive. And we are all living that narrow range of temperature. Sunlight. Everybody knows that the sun at its distance provides us with nourishment. It provides us with vital chemical reaction. If it were a little closer, it would have been too hot. If it were a little farther, it would have been too cold. And what is the proof? Look at Venus. Venus is too close to the sun. Look at Mars. Mars is too far from the sun. They are very similar planets to ours, but there's no trace of life on any of them. Because They are either too far or too close to the sun. And then, of course, we have all these chemicals that are necessary for life: protein, sulfur, potassium, sodium, you name it. So these are the building blocks of life, and only Earth has these building blocks. Among the 1, 2, 3, 5 possible exosolar planet candidates detected by NASA, 54 are orbiting in the parent star's habitable Goldilocks zone where liquid water could exist. 5 of these are near Earth size. So Goldilocks is that zone where a planet can exist close to its star and can support life. It can support all these elements: water, oxygen, gravity, temperature, sunlight, chemicals. But notice the word where liquid water could exist. So out of 1235 planets that have been surveyed by NASA so far, they have not, despite whatever they say, they have not confirmed the existence of water on any one of those. They have just said that maybe water could exist here. So far as we know, Earth is the only planet that we know of that can support life. Yes, there's constant analysis going on, constant research going on. Every time there are new discoveries that, look, we found a planet that is in the Andromeda galaxy and that is very similar to Earth. And it could support life. Okay, it could support life. But how do you know? It's thousands of light years away. Even if it supported life, maybe that life was extinct thousands of years before, and only now we are analyzing its atmosphere. And secondly, all these candidates for all these planets that are candidates for supporting life, they are just candidates in theory, because they seem to have the allowable condition. But let's come back to these. We have absolutely no proof that water, oxygen, gravity, temperature, sunlight, and chemicals exist on these planets. Absolutely no proof. It's just speculation. And my final exhibit, just be a little patient and try to have a look at this graph. Okay? This is the analysis of the atmosphere of the planets of the solar system. Now, let me show you something interesting. Mercury has 42% oxygen in its atmosphere. But you know what? Too much of a good thing. Too much oxygen cannot support life. It can only burn things down, and that is why Mercury is constantly burning. If you look at Venus and Mars, do you see that both of them have 95 or 96% carbon dioxide? So very similar in composition, both Venus and Mars. But you know what? As I told you before, Venus is too close to the sun and Mars is too far from the sun. Let's leave Earth for a moment, okay? Let's look at Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. They have 80 to 90% hydrogen because these are gaseous planets. And then they have sulfur, methane. So very, very similar composition. So Mercury is kind of separate because it's too close to the sun. Venus and Mars have quite similar composition, right? Then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they have pretty much identical chemical composition. And then there are other bodies, Titan and Pluto. Again, they have nitrogen, but they are not planets, so we won't count them. So now look at Earth. Look at Earth now. Earth has 78% nitrogen. And do you see any trace of nitrogen on any other planet? Absolutely not. Earth has 21% oxygen, and the only planet that has any sizable composition of oxygen is Mercury, which is 42%. No other planet has oxygen. Then it has argon. And do you know why? Nitrogen, oxygen, and argon, these are the building blocks of life. These is the combination that supports life. And that is why there's only one planet in the solar system that has life. So let's recap just quickly. There's only one planet that has the moon that is 1/4 its size. And it's so far away that you can fit all the planets in between. So what does that do? It provides us with nighttime illumination, and it also controls the tides of the water on the Earth's oceans. Without lunar effect on Earth's tides, there would be so much disturbance in Earth's ecosystem, especially within the oceans. So Earth's moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, but sun is also 400 times farther than the moon. Then we have this picture that all the other planets look pretty much the same except for Earth, which looks different in every direction. These building blocks of life, water, oxygen, gravity, temperature, sunlight, and chemicals, only exist on Earth as far as we know. And finally, the atmospheres of the solar system. Now, think about it. We have established that Earth is the only planet that we know of that can support life. And not only Earth is the only planet, there's no other planet even remotely like Earth. There's no almost Earth. There is no prototype Earth. So Venus and Mars are similar to each other. Saturn, Neptune, Uranus are similar to each other in many respects. But Earth is not matched by any other solar system's planet in terms of its composition, in terms of its placement, in terms of its... Now think about it. These are the theories that govern our universe. Thermodynamics, weak and strong nuclear force, quantum mechanics, gravitation, relativity, right? Now, you may have heard of some of these theories, you may not have heard, but we all know one thing. And I will ask you this question. Are the laws of thermodynamics or theory of relativity, do they differ from planet to planet? Absolutely not. They are the same. So my question to you is, the Earth being the way it is, can it be the result of a random process, or has it been designed for this purpose by an entity that can govern the universe? With this, I open the floor to questions.
Is there time still left for questions?
Yes. 2 or 3 minutes are left.
Oh.
In fact, I didn't see the timer, so I will request if you can allow 5 minutes for the questions. Yes, you were showing it. I did not see, so it's my fault.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you're saying that Earth being different and not a single drop of water was of Earth itself. So is it because on the Earth, land and water is disappearing and land is coming out a little bit, and that's reversing again? So is it because of the humans and the other living things, living organisms that drank all the water because of the land coming out, or maybe it's some other way around?
No, that's a very good question. But you know what? When living organisms drink the water, it doesn't go anywhere. It stays on Earth. I don't need to explain. Yeah, I don't need to explain to you the entire process. But, but you know what? Us or living things or trees or animals drinking the water does not represent water wastage. Water is reducing because it is being turned into things that are not water, and they cannot be turned back into water. And some of that is also due to global warming. Water is being evaporated. Some of that is because of pollution, that large reservoirs of water are being polluted, and they are disappearing. They're not available for human use. So there are various factors contributing to that. but us drinking water is not one of them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so Talab, this is Naveed.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's an amazing articulation, I guess. And so this a very delicate balance of chemicals, gravity, or oxygen, water. So is it just by chance, or is it a calculation by
Well,
someone?
yeah, actually, that was the whole crux of my presentation, and I'm so glad that people got thinking on those lines. See, tell me one thing. After seeing all this, after seeing how everything has been arranged, is it that difficult to believe in God? I mean, isn't it easier to believe that some entity designed it rather than it arose because of some random process, right? So let me just give you an example. You can you can uh, there's a very famous example that, you know, if there are 700 monkeys and they're sitting on typewriters, in so many millions of years they will churn out the works of Shakespeare. So this is what the advocates of this universe being created out of pure chance say. But in our heart of hearts, we know that thing cannot happen. Without conscious thought, there can be no design, and without any design, there can be no setup like we experience all around us, right? So I believe in my hearts of hearts that it's very easy to believe in a superior entity rather than all of this being created as part of a random process. Because look at Earth out of all the planets. How random does that look to you?
Okay, one more question. You kept on repeating a word, global warming, instead of global warming. So is there a reason you are enlightening us about a global warning that you want
No,
us to
actually,
look?
no. Actually, I meant to say global warming, but consider it a verbal typo.
Okay,
I'm
I
also
thought you had.
drinking tea, so yeah, M converted to M, but it was global warming.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
So any more questions, or we request DTM Talha to share his email address. So if anyone has any
Oh,
questions,
sure.
so
I
directly
will be
contact.
glad to. I will be glad to.
Thank
Here
you
is
very
my
much.
email.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Talha, for such an amazing, informative speech. We thoroughly enjoyed the whole speech, and you have explained the concept about the planet so well. So, hats off to you. With that, our prepared speech segment has come to an end, and I request the timer. Has everyone qualified for voting?
Yes, almost everyone. Just Toastmaster, Toastmaster, Toastmaster Naveed, Naveed went way over time.
But Toastmaster Saad, was it? I think that was because of the Q&A, right, and not because of the core speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can.
No.
Yeah.
Q&A.
So let me request our president.
Yes, everyone's qualified.
Everyone qualified?
Yes.
Okay. What did you have in your breakfast?
Okay, that's new.
So I request our vote
Everyone, the polls are about to be up. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, please vote.
Okay, so it's now to move on towards the third segment, that is evaluation segment. And for evaluation, we have our Madam President, Toastmaster Urusa. So Toastmaster Urusa, the stage is all yours. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Just let me take out the agenda for today. All right. So as we know, the evaluations are the feedback and they help us grow. So let's start with our evaluations for the table topics. And I would like to invite Toastmaster Javed to evaluate the table topics.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, General Evaluator. Today, our first speaker was Toastmaster Noreen Fatma, and her topic was, what gets you excited about life? And Toastmaster Noreen, your answer was hope. I liked how your speech developed as it progressed, but initially I think you were caught a little off guard and you quickly moved towards your usual speaking spot. Since you were speaking while seated, some of your hand gestures were really prominent. For instance, at the end of your speech, you move your hands towards your face like this. I'm sure that you would never do this while delivering your speech in a standing position. So next time, maybe try and avoid sitting down while delivering the speech. Apart from that, a very good speech you gave. Second speaker was Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. Life lessons you learned the hard way, and your answer was never give up. Hardships make you a better person. Good motivational speech. You delivered your speech while walking outdoors, and that instantly grabbed our attention. I could see the trees and the sun setting behind you. We all know that in public speaking, content is king, and your body language has substantial importance too. But in video setting, your environment plays a role as well. Lighting and your connection and your voice quality, all this stuff is important. So full mark on that. But I noticed you were constantly moving around. Maybe you were walking and you were holding your mobile camera in one hand while speaking. I felt that was a little bit distracting. As an audience, we could not focus on your message that you were trying to convey. Other than that, you always speak so well in table topics, and it is hard for me to pinpoint anything else other than that. Our third speaker was Toastmaster Urusa Kawal. What can you do today that you were not capable of a year ago? Your answer was, I can face a lot more people in public setting than that is something that I was unable to do before. You repeated the topic when you started your speech. That is a good technique to give you some extra seconds to develop your thoughts and your ideas. There is just one point that I noticed throughout your speech. You were holding your hand free like this, which limited your hand gestures, plus you were seated, which limited your body movement. Other than that, your speech was inspirational in a sense that it portrayed how Toastmasters has enabled you to speak in front of an audience. And today, you are a president of one of the world's top ranked club. Our fourth speaker was Toastmaster Andrea Carla. Which is worst, falling or never trying? Your reply was, anytime you refuse to try, failure is inevitable. It is better to try something new. A very good speech. I wish you were able to turn on that camera so that we could fully grasp the message that you were trying to deliver through your words. And those were some inspirational words. In a short time, you backed up the message with some examples as well. So a very well structured speech, but without a video, it felt a bit incomplete. Other than that, everything was fine. Our fifth speaker was guest Hasnain. What do you want the most in life? Your opening words were, okay, I got it. Well, and then you went on with your speech. I would suggest instead of saying filler words like well, so, what you can do is you can repeat the topic and then proceed with your speech. For instance, you could start like in this manner. What do I want the most in life? I want to join Pakistan Army, and I have been trying and failing since last 3 years. Then you diverted from the actual topic and you explained the reason for joining your Toastmasters meeting today. That's a good thing. It's better to speak about something and utilize your time than to finish early and stay silent. I could feel that your heart was beating and you had a shivering voice too. Next time, please turn on your camera and keep coming back to these meetings if you want to get rid of that shivering and shaky voice. Our sixth speaker was Toastmaster Mariam Arif. What is joy for you today? Your reply was having people around who genuinely want me to do the best. We all know you are a decorated speaker, and I also admire your room setting. Clear, crisp voice, lighting, connection, all these factors are perfect. I think your speech was complete in every aspect, but that one thing which almost all the speakers, even the table topic master, and even me failed at was to speak while sitting down. I wish you could just speak while standing up. So our seventh speaker was guest Saifur Rahman. Where do you find inspiration? You quoted a German philosopher, overcome your weakness, and then you quoted Allama Iqbal too. He is giving you a meaning of life in a meaningless world. Wow, that a short philosophical speech. As a Toastmaster, we are always encouraged that when you quote someone, you must attribute that quote to the original author, and you did that well. Apart from that, at Toastmaster, we also learn how to structure our speeches. Whereas in your speech, there was a good, strong opening, but after that, it went all over the place. So, to learn more about speech structure and many other key elements like these, please consider becoming a member or just keep attending the meetings and you will improve for sure. Our eighth speaker was Guest Hamna. Guest Hamna, you took some time initially, and after gathering your thoughts, you started your speech. Your speech topic was what has life taught you recently? And your content revolved around the question, and you said that you learned how to overcome problems life throws at you. First of all, kudos to you for turning on that camera and addressing the audience directly, as many people attending a Toastmaster meeting for the first time shy away from facing the camera. Apart from that, you took some long pauses during your speech. To avoid that, what you can do is, if you're not having continuous flow of thoughts on a specific topic, you can talk about any topic you like and link it up with your personal story. For instance, you could have said, life throws problem at you, and all the time I'm facing problem. Right now, I'm facing problem right now when I'm asked to talk impromptu in front of an audience. But I will learn to overcome this problem by becoming a member, maybe. And that's about it from my side. This concludes the table topic evaluation. Over to you, journal evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Javed. And with that, we'll move on to the prepared speeches. And the first speech was by Toastmaster Saad, and I was his evaluator. Toastmaster Saad, your speech and your project was rather unique. You had to give two speeches, and they both had to be humorous, and the topic was to be assigned by the Toastmaster of the day. So you started your first speech by giving us the audience a reason why the person had not joined. You put the crowd at ease, and then you asked for a crazy fitness routine. You performed it, and you told everyone to stay on. What I really liked about your speech was that it was sudden, the crazy routine, it just came on, and you actually did the routine to convey it to your audience. I feel, if you would have actually done that speech on a stage, that would have actually garnered some laugh, and people would have actually gone with your speech. Your second speech was a dialogue, which was rather interesting. You told us about your displeasure with the project by breaking it down and playing it out. And to be honest, I had a little bit of disconnection, but what I gathered was you were not happy with the project. What I would like to recommend as an improvement would be to add for your first speech would be to add two crazy elements together to make it somewhat of a rather two things that cannot be done together. So it would be more attention grabbing. And all in all, your second speech, because of the connection, I could not listen to it clearly. However, whatever I listened to, I enjoyed listening to it. It was fun, it was impromptu, and it was humorous. Uh, Back to you, the general evaluator. So the second speech was by Toastmaster Latif, and his evaluator was Toastmaster Mariam Arif. Toastmaster Mariam.
I shall stand beside you. A very interesting and catchy title that got my attention right away. I couldn't really predict what it's going to be about, who will stand beside whom. But I must say that it was a very well organized speech. You went in a chronological order. You talked about your childhood, the different phases you went through in your life. You developed a climax, and every component of the speech, the opening, the body, the message, the ending was there too. You ended on a beautiful note, on a positive note, and ended up giving message and made sure that we all as an audience relate to your speech by mentioning Toastmasters and how that helped you shape you what you are today. You had very good expressive vocabulary and gestures and movements. You were open with them. You made meaningful movements throughout your speech, and you did not restrict your hands to one position. Instead, you were free to use them in whichever way you wanted to. So it was a very confident body language. But where can you improve exactly is on the vocal variety, the expressions, and the pauses. Because see, this was you quoting your journey of self-realization, you falling, you making mistakes, but realizing. So you go through a mix of emotions, emotions of anger, emotions of guilt, of regret, times when you were confused. That all of these emotions and feelings, I feel, should also reflect in your expression and the tone of your voice, your pitch as well, which I only saw that did vary, but it was only twice or thrice. So I feel that if you work on it, you can add more impact. Such as when you said that one big step, and then you could have paused for a second or two and then went on. Or if you would, when you were saying, I was just going there for lunch and gossip. So when you're using humorous phrases or trying to create some thing on a lighter note, you should also have that sly smile or that tone of sarcasm in your voice as well. Or when you were saying, I was clueless about future. Or when you said, I was unable to understand. So I should see that confusion and those confused expressions on your face as well. Or when you said, I refuse to master. Or when you said, I have lost so many years, I should be seeing that regret reflect on your face. And you ended on a beautiful note, on a positive note. So why not smile in the end as well? Because it's ending on a good note. You're learning a message that you're telling your audience that, hey, you do not have to go through a near-death experience to learn all the things that I have learned in my life so far. So why not give a little smile in the end to bring some more impact and joy to your speech as well? Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mariam. And the next speaker was Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, and his evaluator was Toastmaster Ghulam Khan.
audible and visible?
Yes.
Fellow Toastmaster and guests, today Toastmaster Naveed Aslam gave a lustrous speech today. Let me first comment on your project, Toastmaster Lateef. Your project was about giving an informative speech and at the end or in an organized question and answer session. So your speech, if I talk about the speech content, it was marvelous. It was an informative speech. It started off with a very well structured opening by you gave a background of how the evolution of the smartphone was and how that phone from Nokia phone, it became to an internet technologies connected phone, which we now call as a smartphone. So you explain us the entire journey in the opening. Now coming to the body of this speech, your numbers supported very well the topic of the speech topic. The way you took us from smartphone to the mobile phone banking and then the shopping, what happens in Pakistan and those statistics. So overall, the ending was perfect. You made us glued to the screen and this 25 minutes, we were all ears on with your speech. So congratulations for completing a good project. Coming to the body language, your body language was perfect. You were moving onto the screen and your hand gestures were moving, and according to the speech content, you were communicating with us through your hand gestures as well. So, regarding your facial expressions, yes, you had those gestures which made some expressions out of it. Now, like every speech, there are certain areas of improvement. I felt as if there were lesser lighting where you were standing. The room should have been properly lit up. Lastly, the project also demanded a good time management because you were supposed to answer a well-organized question and answer session at the end. So you lost the track of the time. And you could have avoided the last question of Toastmaster Taha, which would, due to which you could have managed the time. However, just to answer the Toastmaster Taha, your time management was gone and you were over time and you completed your project in 25 plus minutes. So, nevertheless, congratulations on completing this project. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir. The next speech was given by Toastmaster Azhar and his evaluator was DTM Talabin Hamid.
Thank you so much. Just give me a second. Let me open. Okay. So, okay, Toastmaster Azhar. I want to take an unfair advantage here because you discussed this speech with me only today. And let me tell you one thing, and I'll be very frank here. If this is what you can do in 2 or 3 hours, imagine what you would be able to do with a week of preparation. Today, Toastmaster Azhar, I found your speech endearing, relevant, and very much from your heart, which is a hallmark of your speeches. You had very good greeting and welcome. In fact, you were much more welcoming and open than other speakers. The way you said salam and then you welcomed everyone. It was a really warm moment, and I believe we all bonded because of it. You added confidence and humor right from the start. You had a good way of engaging the audience. Your stance and posture were very superior to your previous efforts today. So your stance was very confident. Um, you recap the process about learning your communication style very well, and you have this technique of admitting to your lack of knowledge about things, which is very disarming. and which is your asset, because that's what connects you instantly to the audience. The audience can instantly relate that, you know, this guy did not know anything about communication style, then he studied and suddenly he learned about communication style. So very endearing. As was discovered in your communication style, you have a very frank and direct style, which is very refreshing to see. And you can take this forward with a bit of polish. It can really develop you into a good speaker. Uh, Finally, you did a very good job of linking your communication style with your real life. Now, there was so much stuff in your speeches that there are a few improvement areas as well. Uh, Spend more time crafting your speech instead of the day of the speech. If you start crafting your speech the minute you book the slot, trust me, your speech will turn out 100 times better, because you have the potential to do that. Even in your largely impromptu speeches, we see flashes of brilliance. So imagine where you will be when you craft your speech. Uh, you could have used a little more vocal variety, a little more dialogues from your real life. That would have added spice. You clasped your hands like this for most of the speech. This could be avoided. So in conclusion, first of all, ensure that you have better eye contact with the audience. Uh, you should spend more time preparing and writing your speech. Not that this speech suffered because of it, but it could have been 10 times better because of it. Uh, you should bring more vocal variety into your speech. And finally, try to match your conclusion with the topic. So I believe you were distracted a little bit during your speech, and by the time you reach the conclusion, you forgot to link it back to the communication style. But overall, very well delivered project, thoroughly impressive, amazing to see your progress. Over to you, General Velvet.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha. The next speech was given by DTM Talha, and his evaluator was Toastmaster Latif.
Thank you, General Evaluator, President Rosa Kawal. Didn't we all were delighted to hear today a new perspective of life? As I remember, life is about taking care of families and maybe moreover, a little bit of joy. But this way of thinking of life gave us a lot of prospects of what is happening. One moment I thought that those many research and everything should not happen, because if they would have given this 15 minutes of hearing of DTM Talha's speech, conclusion was there is no better planet than Earth. DTM Talha, you excelled, while how graceful how refreshing your look were. You made us glued, and I noticed each and every audience at Zoom, they were delighted of each and every word you have explained. A well-researched speech, good content. I understand that as and when you have explained each and every aspects of importance of life, you went in too much of detail. And that really helped us to understand not only this, I'm talking about the wise audience with us, because the evaluator, what you have, was not fond of science. So I enjoyed myself. Now, as we were all glued, and I saw many audience having a pen for asking writing questions, I found out that within your speech, you were asking a lot of questions. Had you narrowed down a bit, would have given us to ask that question, because your speech itself answered all your questions. So you would have kept little bit of area of, giving us back that questions. Though I know, according to the research and all, you made sure that nobody should ask a question. And we are very graceful of giving you that another 5 minutes. Yes. Now, over here, I will ask you to challenge. You always time your speech So today, I think you did not manage time well, and that give us that one opportunity to say, DTM Tala, you lacked somewhere. Other than that, I enjoyed life. I felt, had I wished being at school that time, and you might be my teacher. Thank you. Over to you. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Latif. And with that, our session for evaluating prepared speeches is complete. And can we launch a poll for the best timer? Is everyone qualified?
Everyone except for you.
Okay.
Everyone is qualified.
Can we launch a poll except for me?
Yeah, of course. Let me just exit you from here.
Welcome back, Toastmaster Ruza.
Well, for 2 or 3 evaluations, you were well within time, and we were worried that whether it was you or an imposter. But today you are back to form.
Okay, everyone, please
and you
vote.
know,
All right. So with that, I think it's the the roll holders reports. And I'd like to call the grammarian, Toastmaster Hiba.
Fellow Toastmasters, and yes, during the prepared speeches and the table topic section, I came across a few incorrect usages of grammar used by the speaker. Someone said a bit contended, and it should be a bit content. Someone said whatever shopping has done, whatever shopping whatever shopping Pakistani has done, whatever shopping Pakistani have done. And then there were a few interesting words that I came across: data confidentiality, earth has notions without conscious thought. And the other part, I could not detect any as such any incorrect usage of grammar or incorrect words or pronunciation used by the speaker during both the session, and the speaker spoke well with good grammar and English. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hiba. Next, I'd like to call the word master, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir.
So the word of the day was lustrous, and it was spoken by Toastmaster Latif 6 times because he was a table topic master. So he had to speak that again and again. Toastmaster Noreen Fatma spoke once. And of course, since I had to speak because I was the word master, so I spoke once. So that's the report from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir. The next role holder, Toastmaster Taha, for the accounters report.
Toastmaster Taha has disconnected because of electricity issues. So I've asked him to share his report privately with me. If he does share, I'll share it with everyone.
All right. So the next role holder is Toastmaster Mariam Arif.
Okay, the first phrase is, I got the message that we should keep trying.
Mariam. The table topic.
Yes, Latif, Toastmaster Latif. Okay. The topic will be repeated once, not twice.
Toastmaster Imran.
Yes. I was no, not this one. How expensive the call rates were.
Toastmaster Naveed Aslam.
Yes. Without a video, it felt a bit incomplete.
Javed Bhatti.
Toastmaster Javed.
Yes. I can face a lot more people in a public setting.
Toastmaster Urusa.
Yes, everyone's a good listener today. Maybe it's just so easy. Life is not a piece of cake.
Toastmaster Andrea.
No, Humna.
Yes, yes, Hamna.
Yes, Hamna.
This is a very new thing for me in my entire life.
Azhar?
Humayun Gujar.
Azhar, Toastmaster Azhar. Failure is inevitable.
Mariam Aftab. No.
No. That was
Guest
that
Carla.
was yeah.
Carla.
Yes.
Carla.
Yes. And the last one is, who likes to be active, fit, and smart?
Toastmaster.
Yes. Yes. Over to TM rules.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mariam. And last, I'd like to call Toastmaster Saad for the timers report.
Yeah, so we it started about a bit a bit a bit over time and and almost all of the speakers were qualified and now we are we are we are we are we are about to end and actually end earlier than our than our is than our is is standard. So yeah, all good.
All right.
Okay,
Toastmaster Javed,
sorry,
Yeah, sure.
Toastmaster sir, I have the report from Toastmaster Taha, the accountant. So
All
can
right.
I read it?
Yes, sure. Yes, sure.
Okay. So I will read it exactly as received. So you'll have the sensation that Toastmaster Taha is speaking right before you. Since it is hard, I think, and to think and speak at the same time, there were many filler words used by speakers, and I got a tip for them to avoid using filler words. That when you need to think on your feet, I suggest that being aware of that, take one deep breath instead of rushing yourself to speak when given an odd topic to speak on. So yeah, great. Prepared speeches, they went pretty well. As our counting is concerned, report on speaker is Toastmaster Saad 0, Toastmaster Latif 0, Toastmaster Naveed 8, Toastmaster Azhar 16, myself 6. Since Toastmaster Naveed and Talha were delivering Q&A, it was expected that filler words might be used. Other speakers need to work on this habit of avoiding use of filler words. Thank you, Toastmaster Talha. Evaluation went pretty well with minimum use of filler words, and for the rest of the evaluation after Mariam, I was not able to count the R's and Ums because of electricity issues. So that was a report from our R counter, Toastmaster Taha.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha. Toastmaster Javed, you have your hand raised. Do you have something to add?
No,
All right.
I didn't
All
notice.
right. All right. All right. So I think lastly, it's the time for the general evaluators report. So today, our Sergeant at Arms was not available, so we opened the meeting. I opened the meeting, and we started at around 6:50. The word of the day was very thoughtful, and it was placed in the chat box, which made it easy to read and to memorize. All rules were introduced very wonderfully, and the table topic session was really wonderfully done. The topics were easy, thoughtful, and they did really require some sort of thought process. A guest was introduced midway when she came in, which is good. It is good for the TMOD to introduce guests as they come in. The projects were well prepared. Toastmaster Naveed's Q&A session, Toastmaster Latif's speech, very well done. Toastmaster Azhar, he told us about his life. And lastly, DTM Talha's speech. I think I missed Toastmaster Saad in this. Very well done. The evaluations were spot on, except for mine, obviously, and this time. So, except for that, all these evaluations were very well done. And with that, I conclude the general evaluation session and hand over to Toastmaster Imran.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Urusa, for such a wonderful and thorough evaluations. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we have now completed all the segments of the meeting, and today we heard so many noises, and some good noises, some inspiring noises, and some Uh, Noises from our DTM Talha, who just recovered from very dangerous disease. So good to have you back. And that will echo for long, for sure. So before handing over the charge to our dearest Madam President, I request Toastmaster Sashwip to please launch the poll for Big Four. And Big Four are myself, Toastmaster Imran Rana, Urusa Kaval as General Evaluator, Latif Mansoor Ali as Table Topic Master, finally, Javed Bhatti, Table Topic Evaluator. I have casted my vote to me, and I requested you to please vote for me. Cast your vote for me. And with that, I would like to hand over the charge back to our president, Toastmaster Urusa. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. I think we had a good meeting today. What do you all think? Good. Let's ask the guests what they think. Guest Humna, would you like to comment on the meeting? Guest Humna, are you there? Guest Hasnain, are you there? Would you like to share comments with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, please, would you like to share your comments about the meeting with us?
Yes, it was a great meeting and I enjoyed a lot and probably learned a lot. So hopefully we'll do better next time.
Keep joining us from time to time.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much. Toastmasters, guest from Nag.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, would you like to share your comments with us?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very appreciated things for me. So I feel good to join this. So inshallah, I will join this again and again. So thank you for your appreciation and this motivated thing. You are doing so well things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you're welcome to join anytime you want.
Thank you. Yeah.
Master Saad, do we have the results?
Yeah, we do. I'll just do something innovative, or
In the meantime, do we have another guest? Maybe we can ask for the feedback.
Someone else?
I see. Guest Hasnain Gujjar.
Yes, I asked him for the
Right.
for the comments.
Yes, Mohammad Asghar, you are talking about Javed Bhatti?
No, I was searching for because there was another guest in the table topic session, so I was searching for him.
okay, everyone. So the winners. Any ideas about the best table topics speaker?
Mariam Aftab.
Lots of speakers were there. No.
Our president.
Lots of
Hasnain Gujjar.
speakers were there.
Hasnain Gujjar.
Yes, Hasnain Gujjar is the best.
Wow.
Is the best table topic speaker. Well done, Hasnain. Keep on coming again. Okay. So the best prepared speaker. Drum rolls, please. DTM Talha bin Hamid is the best prepared speaker. The best prepared speech evaluator. Any guesses on this one?
Mariam Arif.
Toastmaster Mariam.
It was a tie actually. Guilty. So, okay, Toastmaster Mariam Arif is the best. Is the best prepared speech evaluator. Okay, now for the big four. Easy one, this one. Any guesses?
Imran.
Easy.
Toastmaster Imran.
He just won the election of Senate.
The person
Javed Bhatti.
who was like, vote for me. So everyone
actually
approved.
voted.
Everyone
So-
approved Toastmaster Imran Rana.
So did he get 20 votes out of 14? Just like,
No, roundabout.
okay.
It's a horse trading. It's a horse trading which has been done today.
That's about it from my side. Over to you, Mary President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saad. And we have two more awards, the Critics' Choice Speaker Award based on the International Speech Ballot. And the speaker who won is Toastmaster Latif. Congratulations, Toastmaster Latif. And our Critics' Choice facilitator for today is our listener, Toastmaster Mariam. Congratulations, Toastmaster Mariam. Job well done. And with that, I think it's a wrap. Till the next meeting next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Love Fez. Bye.
Thank you for all your votes. Thank you very much.
Okay, one last reminder. We have 4 level completions today, so everyone please file them ASAP.
Okay, ji. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.